Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Henry Cejudo has some advice for Khamzat on his weight. Henry said that Khamzat could actually be overtraining and this is affecting his weight cuts. Here's what Cejudo had to say. You won't come back if you don't get it together. You won't come back and ever make that weight again. Trust me, you won't make it because when you're off that much, just imagine, he's struggling to make 178. He gave everything he had. His coach said his tongue was white, he was vomiting, and all that other stuff. I've been there before. He's going to have to really tweak his training. He's probably training too much, and that's allowing his metabolism to eat more. There's a way of doing it where you can still make weight, still feel good while you're not overworking your body, because even though you're working your body, you can also miss weight. I used to do that. That's the only reason I say that. It was great, but at the same time, I wanted to see him do work. Because if he didn't tap out Kevin Holland, how would he have looked in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds? I really wanted to see him up against a competitor who would really challenge him, because then we would know how good he is. But Kevin Holland's got a big hole, and it's called wrestling, and it was easy work for him. Kevin Holland recently announced his retirement following his loss to Khamzat Chimaev. Kevin Holland recently posted this to social media. Had a good run, 30 in little over a month, got paid, I'm out. Next career choice? Here's what Chael Sonnen had to say about his early retirement.
Kevin is not retired. I have to tell you the problems, and I would have let this go. I'd have checked in on Kevin privately. Kev, what's going on? You talk? Want to get out of town for a little bit? Been something like this. He has other support, right? He doesn't need me, but I would have shown him that support, and I would have been there for him, and I got a room for him if he wants to get the hell out of town. I mean, all of it would have been real. I'm just sharing with you. You will get pulled out of the USADA pool. USADA has the legal right to pull him out of the pool. As a matter of fact, to push this a little bit further, if USADA showed up at Kevin's house today and he turned him away, he refused the test, that right there will get you a full suspension. There is nothing USADA will come down harder on you for with a faster hand of justice than refusing or running or hiding from a test. There is nothing. He could do that today and they would not be able to sanction him. Just so you understand, he could refuse the test, and when that gets before the commission, he'll simply bring up a time and date stamp on the tweet, said I retired. That's legal. That would work.
In a recent episode of the D.C.R.C. show, Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler joined Daniel Cormier for an interview where they explained their differences.
I mean, I don't know. That's what everybody wants to say. That's what everybody wants to see. Obviously, I would love to hear Dustin's aspect on it, Dustin's side point of view. But, when it comes down to who Dustin Poirier is, he's a consummate professional. He's fought for the UFC title multiple times and interim titles multiple times. He's been in the UFC for forever. So, he's been the mainstay, and I've been the guy who's been, quietly watching him from outside the organization for a long time. And I think he and I have, knew we were going to end up in this path eventually. And now here we are on your show. So November 12th, we get to do it.
Dustin.
Yo. Hey, look.
What is it about Michael Chandler? What is it about Michael Chandler?
Listen, DC, and listen, Mike. I have always, if you ask anyone who knows me or anyone who's heard me speak about Mike, I've always, I've been watching the guy fight for a long time. He's fought a lot of great guys. I've always had praise for him. He's done some great things. But it's exactly the whole thing with me, and it's not like I'm going into this fight with a personal vendetta for the guy. But this is just it. The way he answered that question is not who he was a few interviews ago with Ariel Helwani, or it's not who he was when the mic's in front of him in the octagon. He was a different guy whenever we sat next to each other in Abu Dhabi and spoke. It's just that's what it is.
That's true.
So you think he's fake a little bit, Dustin? You think that Michael Chandler has
personally.
Two faces?
I don't know. You said that. I didn't say that. I don't know the guy personally. He might be a great guy. But what I do know is that when he's telling Ariel Helwani, when I think of lightweight fighters, I don't even think of Dustin Poirier. And then he tells you when you ask him a question, Dustin has been a mainstay in the UFC. That back and forth stuff, that's just obvious to me. So it doesn't matter. November 12th, look, I wish it was 5 rounds. We're going to throw hands for 3 rounds and we'll settle it.
Dana White recently spoke about Jose Aldo's retirement. Here's what he said.
Yeah, we love him, man. This will always be his house. I told him If you ever need anything here, you ever want to go to an event, this is always your house. And this is a guy that, you know, from the WEC to the UFC, helped build the sport, this brand, and Brazil for us. So we love him and we always will. He's made a great life for himself down there too, and done some great things and made a lot of money, and I couldn't be happier for him and his family.
Phil Hawes gives his prediction on the upcoming bout between Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira. Here's the clip.
Adesanya's facing Pereira. That's going to be going down in Madison Square Garden for the belt, man. Pereira's got the best of him, but in kickboxing, though, how do you see one playing out inside the octagon?
Man, Izzy's really good, you know, and I can see him crazy enough to even try to attempt a takedown. You know what I mean? I could expect that from Izzy because he's crazy. You know what I mean? And he's an entertainer, so I could see him doing something like that. But I think he gets it out. I think he squeaks by.
And then we got Sean Strickland fighting Jared, the Killer Gorilla Cannoneer, man. That's entertainment.
That's a really good fight. Both of those guys are tough. They're cool. Strickland's a little weird. You know how it is. But yeah, it's gonna be a good fight.
Define weird.
Peculiar. There we go. Peculiar.
Choosing his words wisely.
Paulo Costa was recently asked who he wants next inside the octagon. Here's what he said.
Chimaev.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think because he's on hype.
Yeah.
I stole some his hype.
Sure.
I stole
his
night whip. I stole his cap.
Yeah.
I stole his main event fight.
Yeah.
You know?
You think you're the reason?
Everything. Chimaev, you need to do something. I stole everything that you had. Everything that you had. Your hat. Where is your hat?
Right here.
Right there.
Yeah.
I stole your night whip. I stole you Wayne. I stole everything. You are disturbed. So crazy. I cannot do this. I will die. So I think I need to fight that guy.
You think you're the reason why he missed weight?
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
Why?
Why? Because he became so angry, so stressed.
Right.
And he almost give up. He give up. He missed weight for 8 pounds, almost 9.
Yeah.
He gave up for sure.
Nate Diaz is possibly eyeing up a move to Bellator in the near future, according to Bellator president Scott Coker. He had this to say about Nate Diaz. Well, we are definitely talking to him. We've reached out, and I know he's probably talking to everybody. He's, I think, in a pretty good situation. I know he wants to fight Jake Paul. Jake Paul's fighting, you know, against Anderson Silva on Showtime pay-per-view, which is our home network, so there's some synergies here. We're just hoping that we could have some type of deal to at least have his MMA fights with Bellator. We are in dialogue. Sean O'Malley recently spoke about Khamzat Chimaev and says he would love to see Khamzat and Whittaker face each other inside the octagon.
There's guys that have really good wrestling, but he has really good jiu-jitsu too. That's like, he's a good grappler. There's some guys that have really good jiu-jitsu, not the best wrestling, really good wrestling, but they can't submit you on the ground. He's good both, which is a problem. But the thing is I don't know. He says he doesn't want to fight Robert Whittaker, which is obviously a 185, a weight class above, because he's a nice guy. But dude, I was rewatching some highlights stuff of Robert Whittaker versus Yoel Romero. I bet Khamzat's like, yeah, I don't want to fight Robert Whittaker.
Dude's dangerous.
I don't think Khamzat's made 170, because the fight when he fought Gilbert Burns, he did the towel thing where he lost 5 pounds with that. This fight, he came in 8 pounds overweight. So I don't even know. I mean, is his next fight going to be at middleweight? Should it be? I think UFC should probably say you have to, but they also like, this guy's potentially a massive star. And if he thinks he can make 70 and that's where he can be the most dominant, like Colby versus Khamzat.
That'd be so sweet.
I just don't think we get it, because I don't think he makes 170.
Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.